Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Knife of Dunwall DLC, Master Assassin difficulty video walkthrough. This is the final mission of the DLC entitled The Surge. This is by far the hardest mission of the DLC too. If you follow my guide, you will hopefully get the 0 kills, the no alerts, and the low chaos achievements or trophies on your playthrough. I keep specifying, and I'm going to do so once again, you do not have to do this on the difficulty I'm doing it on. It's just a preference. I enjoy to play games at the most challenging, just so I can turn around and say, your game, I just fucked you up, and feel good about myself. Because I'm so insecure and in need of technology to reaffirm my manliness. Now, this is an interesting level, because for the most, we've been playing this game in a certain style, and this level kind of tells you to fuck that style. Which I think is a big shame, because I like the concept of being able to go through the game and not be forced to do things like killing, and not be forced to go down a very select path. But for the most in this mission, I'm going to be avoiding everything I can, except for shooting sleep darts at the dudes with the... I don't know what it is, it's like a crazy accordion wind-up music box machine that suppresses your magic, suppresses your ability to use blink, and as you can tell, it's happening to me now. I don't know why, so stupid, but at this moment in time I can't blink. And it should be directional, but right there it was almost residual, which I don't really understand. But there is the sleep dart on the first guy. Hit him, wait for everybody to calm down, and then progress onwards. Like, it's literally a journey of elimination. You're going to be moving through environments, taking out key figures, and just hoping to God that nobody clicks on you there. Because if they do, you're going to have to reload, and this level can take a very long time. And I'm saying this from experience, because my first time through this level took maybe an hour, maybe longer, maybe 2 hours. It was a nightmare for me. But I found that this is where I miss a guy, by the way. I miss a music box guy on here, and he's the person who patrols this area. He's the one I miss. If you sit up here, nobody can see you, in my experience. I had people come really close, ridiculously close, where feasibly you would think he could see me. And luckily enough, he could not. This right here is me fighting with the aim. The aim on this game is very sensitive on the highest sensitivity, and my analogs and the dead zone sometimes don't cooperate with what my thumb is doing, so it can take a while. But we took out Hume just then. We took out one of the music box guys. So all the thing that's left now is for me to turn around and shoot the other music box guy who's outside this room, which I don't do. So at this moment here, folks, pause this video, turn around, once these people have stopped looking, or even when they're looking, hit the guy with the music box. You seem to be completely safe up here. I don't know how this works, it's just one of those things where the AI doesn't look. And if done correctly, you will not have to do what I do, which is backtrack through the level to take out one guy, which is unnecessarily dangerous, and it makes this a much longer process than it needs to be. So learn from my mistakes, folks, that's what they're there for. So once you're outside here, you can get up onto this ledge. The balcony ledge is super useful, but it's dangerous getting on it, because I needed to blink onto this first to get there. Whoa, I'm taking my fucking time. Maybe it's not so dangerous. Oh, I'm aiming at the wrong ledge. That makes a lot of sense. So now that we're up here, you can be seen up here, by the way. When the guards start patrolling, I've been spotted, so be very careful. It's one of those things where, for the most, it feels like they can't see you, but they can if you get unlucky. So on your game, if you say, oh, this is bullshit, I got spotted, I know what you mean. I got spotted a few times as well. Like, for instance, around here, there's a statue that you get an achievement for doing an air assassination off. On the difficulty before this, the enemies couldn't see you when you were on top of that statue. But on this difficulty, they could. So it's one of those things where the jumping difficulties is pretty noticeable, and if it affects your strategies, it's a pain in the ass. Like this right here is me getting a little bit cavalier, taking some unnecessary damage because I could have done that better. But the gist of what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get to the ground level without being spotted. And once you're down here, you can then move your way through this area easier than you can do on the rooftops to take out the music men. And there might be a way through the rooftops that's really good, but on this difficulty I found getting through the rooftops to be very difficult. It wasn't easy, but blink up onto here, there's a few guys here, and what I do is I blink behind this brick column, this brick wall, so nobody can see you. One of them is a normal dude, the other guy is a music box guy, and you can lean out and shoot the music box guy with your arrow, which is what I'm going to do. So there that goes. He's just been tagged. His buddy is super paranoid. Even though he's got all 6 of those like lightning bolts, as long as they're not red, it means you've not been spotted. It just means he is as high as the alert goes before detection. So now that we've got that one, we can move over here onto the vents. This is an interesting one, this one, because I tried a couple of things. I tried throwing smoke bombs and taking him out, but for some reason it registered that they knew where I was. I tried a whole bunch of different ones, but in the end, Linkin Park style, before they went shit, it just turned out to be the Occam's razor. The simplest one was the most effective. Or the simplest one was the true one. So, there you go. Shoot him with the arrow, then blink the hell out of there. Or fall down the wall instead of grabbing it. Corvo, come on, brother. And when you're in here, there's a bunch of sleep darts, which is going to make your adventure a little easier. And then when we go up here, this is where it gets really tricky, because there's a lot of people, and you can sedate them, you can knock them out and move the bodies, and it takes forever. Or you can just kind of risk it by saving and then getting really ballsy like I'm doing now. So use your blinks, move forward. As soon as you hear people respond to you or start to follow you, you wanna start blinking, you wanna start getting to the higher vantage points. We have 3 musical overseers remaining. I know where one of them is. I think I know where they all are at this point, because I'd done this level and it took so long the first time. I know there's a map in that room, the assault plans, and there's a guy that's near that that's an overseer. I know there's one in that middle column where the end of the level triggers, and I also know that there's one back in that room where we did not spin around and kill him, which is entirely our fault, but you learn from your mistakes. So because we have 7 sleep darts and there are only 3 targets, that means we have the flexibility, if needed, to sedate anybody in our way. That's not me saying go on a massive rampage. That's just saying that if you can't get to somebody because there's 2 of them, feel free to take both of them down. It'll just make the overall, streamline the process of beating the mission and getting those achievements. But then again, playing this on easy, I don't know what the difficulty's like on easy, but there seems to be a trend in games nowadays where you turn the difficulty down super, super low, and the game still isn't as easy as you would think. Like, I was playing Metro 20, Last Light, the other day, and all my experiences on that game have come from playing on hardcore for my first time and recording a guide on Ranger hardcore, and the game is pretty tough when it wants to be. As far as, if you get hit a few times by monsters, you die. If you get shot too much, you die. It's a reasonable amount of damage for a hardest difficulty. Then I put it on easy, expecting to be able to run through everything, and don't get me wrong, I took a beating, but I didn't take the beating that I would have expected you to take on normal, and I still died. And it was one of those things where you kind of think, wow. So, there's 2 sides to this coin. There's the one side of, this sucks, because in years gone by, when you put it on easy, you literally needed to stand there for an hour and have every enemy in the room shooting you to die, which made it super simple to switch your brain off and get achievements and do mop-up runs, which I kind of liked. On the flip side of that, you have the perspective of the people who only play on the lower difficulties, who walk through the game because it's too easy. Well, this won't be too easy because there's still the risk of death, there's still the challenge, and maybe they'll get a better experience. So it does work in a few ways, and it screws a few people, but I think the consensus for me is it's a better way to approach difficulty. And I've spotted it on a few games recently, and I believe that this might be one of them, where you think you're going to take a shit ton of damage or a shit ton of a beating, and you don't. And it's refreshing. It might not make it easy to get those 50 melee kills on a certain enemy, but it's still better than the alternatives. But right now, we've tranked that guy. Everybody's super cautious and looking for us, but they can't find us because we're too legit. We're too ninja-y. Oh, by the way, folks, if you can hear kind of a high-pitched whistle happening every so often, it might be quite subtle. I hope it's subtle. It's just my next-door neighbour's kids. They're a special bunch. They would literally... They think window panes are jawbreakers. Like, unbelievable. Just how can somebody have that much fun with a whistle? Like, I don't get it. Are they chasing their own fucking tail? Do they really have that much? Ugh, I'm not even going to go into it. I'm really not. You can just pray that they'll be introduced to roads and someday play on them at length. Which, if you want to get good at dodging cars, is the best way to learn. I know this firsthand. But now that we've taken out the musical overseer, we need to get back to the middle of the clusterfuck we were in before. And to do this, we're going to take a slightly different path. Instead of going down, I think we're going to try and do the jump. The jump is the way I did it the last time, but it's also a dangerous way of doing it, because it's easy to get spotted, it's easy to fuck the jump up, and it's easy to die. So, somebody's talking. I'm scouting the area. I'm not too sure what I'm thinking about. Ah, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about the jump being bullshit. I'm going to do the other jump. So yes, in this video guide you are not going to see the jump that I'm speaking of. It is literally, though, jumping off the statue's head, blinking in midair and landing on the corrugated fence where all the dudes are. It works perfectly on the difficulty below this, but on this one, the timing has to be so spot on, and even then people get super paranoid when you land, like those two guys did just then. But now we're down here, we can immediately hang a right, run past all these log things, these wooden supports, and then we can blink our way up the back and get where we need to be. So just keep on moving this way, keep on saving. You know, be careful, there is a guy up here. Do you see him on the right? He might throw a wrench in the works, but we should be able to climb on a light or something. Maybe not. And we're going to get on the wall, and then from the wall get onto the light. That sounds like a decent plan. Oh no, we're going to get onto that and then get onto the light. Or just ignore the light, because the light's an asshole that wouldn't support my weight, so instead we'll use the wall. And I'm fighting with the blink right here to get the bit I want. Which does happen, but you're completely safe while this is happening, and I think this is one of the most empowering parts of the Dowd DLC. You can take your time, you can make stuff work, it's a lot of fun. So there's the jump and blink, then we can blink onto this, and then we can get to that. And as soon as you hit this next waypoint, it's going to trigger a cutscene, and depending on how nice you've been or how you've played will depend on how this plays out. So your assassins are going to turn up, and so is the partner that's been with you for the game. If you've been a dick and you've done nothing but bad things, what will happen is you'll have to fight this assassin person. But if you've been cool and you've showed your usefulness, you won't have to. So on this playthrough, when we go to the regroup sign, which is just down here where all the assassins are, I don't have to fight. Everything is done for me. She goes on to say that I've proved... She thought I was a loser and should have been taken out, but it turns out I've still got it. I'm just... I'm a different and complex man than she thought I was, and all this other stuff. Then we kiss and walk off into the rainbow and have several kids. Or some such bullshit. But Michael Madsen's having none of it, and hopefully we should have got a bunch of achievements that will pop after this. So let's see. So this is weird. This is the bit that I really didn't like. So decide Blue Lark's fate. You need to forgive her to not get the kill, obviously. So I forgive her, and then she runs away. And that person who turned up then is a witch who's got something to do with that boat that we were looking for. And you're like, what? You've introduced all this narrative, all this exposition, and you're going to fucking end? Because there's undoubtedly going to be another piece of DLC that they're going to sell to us, which is going to continue this story. Motherfuckers! I want my story, goddammit. But there are the stats anyway, folks. There is the low chaos, there is the didn't kill anybody, there is the ghost. That is it for all the levels. You should get all 3 of the achievements. So yeah, I hope the guide helped, and I hope you enjoyed it. So thank you for watching, and you take care now.